Hey everybody, it's been a little while, been a long time. I've been busy. New job, new house. Personal life's a little busy. Been doing some mods, and then I got the rug pulled out from under me a little bit. If anyone's been following the last few videos, you'll know that I've been excited over this micro joystick from a manufacturer called CTS. Well, surprise, surprise, as of 2 or 3 months ago, they are no longer manufacturing that stick. It's discontinued, and they're not replacing it with new SKUs. I've been in contact with them, and they're just done. They make other stuff. They're not going out of business. They're just not making analog joysticks anymore, so I can't do that. My normal distributors, Mouser and DigiKey, they've got some stock left, but not any of the longer shaft length that I need, which was, I think, the 12 millimeter. It gave me some extra length to work with in terms of getting the stick hat to adhere, which you'll know if you've been watching the glue videos that I did. Anyways, so I did some looking for some replacements, possibly for stick bodies that were of similar, smaller size, and there's a few. But they're all in Asian markets. They're not in the North American market. Most of them are really bad quality. There's only one that was decent quality, but they just will not sell to me. I can't find any North American distributors, and I'm not really willing to use Google Translate to try to buy something off a Chinese website, hoping that it actually gets to me and that my credit card isn't stolen. So there's that. So that leaves me with kind of going back to the drawing board. I contemplated just stopping doing these mods altogether, but I decided to not do that. I really enjoy the design process, especially. I really enjoy mechanical and electrical stuff, and it's just a fun thing for me to do. So I decided to give it another crack. And here's where we're at. So before the micro sticks, I was using what I'm going to call kind of standard size joysticks, what you find in Xbox and PlayStation controllers. Alps makes good stuff. I don't know who Microsoft and Sony sources through, but Alps is fine. They make good stuff. They have for a long time. And I can source these really easily. So I can get those, no problem. What I did not want to do was to go back to my old ways of doing this mod, which was kind of freehand cutting into the orb weaver module to make it fit. Those are ugly mods. I did them because they were functional and people wanted them and were willing to pay for them, but we can do better. I can do better, so that's what we're doing right now. We're doing better. Data sheet. I wanted to emulate the cup and hat design that I did for the micro stick. The problem is that, especially with the orb weaver, the available space in that side module is just not a lot. It's really tight, really tight in there. To give you reference, from the factory, the hole that the D-pad is in has a diameter of 22 millimeters. The micro stick cup fit in there no problem. It was small enough. The stick body on this Alps kind of Xbox One, PlayStation 4 style joystick is all by itself. Like the length right there is like 21 millimeters. So it can't fit in that hole. And there be room for other stuff, which there has to be room for other stuff with these things. Wires and actual movement. If it's that small, you can't actually move the stick. Well, you could, but you couldn't have a hat on it, and that's not functional. That's not useful. No one wants to put their thumb on a tiny little 4 millimeter by 3 millimeter thing that's 5 millimeters tall that's going to dig into your thumb and not actually be precise or usable at all. So I believe I have a usable design here. I've got these these cups at 26 millimeter diameter, so there is going to be cutting. I've got to cut a hole into the orb weaver that is 4 millimeters larger in diameter This time I'm getting smart, and it's not going to be free-handed. I've got templates that I'm going to print and use, and these are going to be available on the Shapeways store as well. Let me get closer in there. There we go. I'm going to print those out so we can do clean cuts for the cups to go into. I'll show you what that looks like with the stick body seated. You can see that it's really tight in there. It's tight, super tight. I think the interior there is 25 millimeters. So in case you were wondering, you might be thinking, well, Tuff, you said the factory diameter is 22 millimeters and the stick body is only 21 millimeters. It should be able to fit. Yes, but it would not be centered. So you can look at this and see that the post is not in the middle of the total width of this stick. You've got 2 or 3 millimeters on this side. You've got 4.5, 5 millimeters on this side. It's not centered. So if you center the post inside of that space, really you are looking at a 23 or 24 millimeter diameter needed. So the interior of these cups are 25 millimeters, and the exterior are 26. So it'll fit. I've used the digital calipers on an orb weaver that I've got to make sure that there's enough room to cut. There's gonna be, I think, I won't know till I try, but based on the measurements, I think we'll be all right. So we'll get a lot of the benefits of the microstick mod. It's going to be in a cup. It's going to have a dome over it. Let me see if I can make this a little easier to see. So the stick body is going to be inside of there. It's going to have a dome over top of it. And then, you know what? And most people like the dimpled sticks, so let's get one of these guys. Stick hats. These are hats. So when you get an email from me and I say stick hat, I'm talking about this. It would look something like this. That's what it's going to look like. And you can see this. I'm just testing the angle of deflection here. But this is the goal. And I think I've got all the tolerances correct. So only this much and up. So this is where it's going to set on top of that orb module. Only this is going to be visible above. This is the body that's going to be below the surface there. And yeah, all that should fit. I think that's what I've got worked out. It should all fit. And as you see, I've got the, this is my final result over here. We've got the cup. We've got the dome. And then we've got the two hats. I've got a domed hat that's curved on the top, and then I've got a dimpled hat that is indented on the top. And people seem to like the dimpled better. But there's both. Both will be available. And you see before you on this workspace the end result of hours of work. I get started into this thinking, oh, it won't take that long. I've done it before. Nope. It takes a long time to get this stuff designed with all the tolerances properly. I got lucky this time in that Alps actually gave me a STL 3D file for their stick body. But anyways, this is all done and designed. I'm like 90% sure it's going to work and fit. I'll probably have some minor tweaks to do on this once I get some in the mail. That's generally how that goes. You have to adjust it a little bit. But I think it'll be all right in the end. Once I get through two or three of these mods, I will start updating the Shapeways store. And the mod's going to get a little bit more complicated because there's going to be cutting involved. But again, there's going to be a template available to help with that. I wanted to avoid the cutting part since that is easily the scariest part. And unfortunately, that means that whereas the micro stick mod was completely reversible, you could restore the orb weaver to its factory, you know, with the D-pad. With this, you can't. It's permanent. You could actually restore it, but you're going to have a big gaping hole there where the D-pad is. Maybe one day I will get the tolerances correct for a replacement top plate, in which case it would be reversible, but that's a whole nother animal to tackle there. I'm going to have to figure that one out because that's not right angles and easy angles and such to model. When I've got circles and right angles to work with, it's a lot easier to 3D model, but otherwise it's not. Anyways, so this is where I'm at. I'm going to be ordering from Shapeways for myself. I've got a mod here that I need to finish, assuming that he sees this video and he's cool with it. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated. That's where I've been for the last little while. I've not done any updates because I got into this mess and it took me a little while to decide what I wanted to do, and it took me a little while to come up with this and do research and design this and blah, 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 blah. So yeah, that's what's been going on. And yeah, like I said, I'll keep y'all updated. Thanks for watching.